What is going on, you guys? It is that time again for another Player Era project. This time we're going to be doing Mr. Jim Johnson, the longtime 49ers cornerback, played from 1961 to 1976. He's a member of the 49ers Hall of Fame. The 49ers retired his number 37 jersey a long time ago. Five-time Pro Bowl, member of the 1970s All-Decade team. Had 47 interceptions during his career. A couple of those were pick sixes. He had two of those. Just a great player. His signing habits been on and off, which I'll go into more detail here once I turn the camera around. Just kind of one of those, I feel like, forgotten Hall of Famers, if you will. Once you get in the Hall of Fame, you kind of become immortalized. I think a lot of times we forget about some of those guys that are in there that aren't the huge names. You know, the Walter Paytons and the Emmitt Smiths and the John Elways, the Dan Marinos of the world. You know, so great Hall of Famer, great TTM signer. Turn it around and check out these cards, because by the way, this is not your normal Player Era project. This is one that I've been piecing together for a while. So let's check out these cards. So here we go with the Jim Johnson Player Era project. This project took me multiple years. His signing habits has really changed through the years. Sometimes signing very quick, to other times just stop signing, period. And then there for about 6 months, a couple years ago, he was even able to somehow get the yellow label of death. If you're a TTMer, you know what I'm talking about. At his current address, the address that he's lived at this whole time, he was able to get the return to sender, unable to forward, yellow label of death on his TTMs, which I thought was absolutely crazy once I realized he didn't move. So this is his rookie card. I believe it's the 1964 Philadelphia. Really cool. You see it looks kind of speckled on the signature. And sometimes that's a sign of a stamp. But he put this card in the semi-rigid holder when the ink was still wet. So that is why that looks like that. Moving on to his next card. This particular card, at least for me, I don't see it very often. Whenever you go on eBay, you might see 3-4 of this Philadelphia card. You don't see a ton. So I've always thought this card was pretty cool. And then his last Philadelphia. If you notice, he moves his Hall of Fame inscription around, sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller. Here, he just wrote HOF. He didn't write the 94. This is the 1969 Topps, which this is probably the best signature and inscription by far. Absolutely beautiful, flawless signature. Really pops on that yellow background, red jersey. Man, I could look at that card all day. Moving on to the 1970, which the picture, you can really tell in his face, is a little fuzzy. So I can kind of kiss and tell on myself now that it's done. But you haven't seen a TTM return from him in a while. This is a 72 high number. This is a very expensive card for what it's worth. The 70s cards, these cards normally aren't too much, but I ended up buying this one for about $25 just for the card alone. So like I said, you haven't seen a return for him in a while. I was able to get him twice in the past month. I feel terrible. I had a couple people ask me, hey, have you seen a return from Jim Johnson lately? And I was like, no, I haven't. And that wasn't because I was trying to be deceitful or be a butthole on purpose. Matter was I was trying to finish this Player Era project, and a lot of people ask me all the time, have I seen a return from this guy or that guy? And I can honestly say I am honest about 99.9% of the time. But when I was in the middle of trying to close this project out, I didn't want this address to go cold. So I was able to get him twice. It's the very beginning of June 2020. So if you haven't got Mr. Jim Johnson and you want to send to him, go ahead. I got him twice in May. So That is that. I hope y'all enjoyed this player era run. I was actually very, very excited to finish this particular set, just because the signing habits have been so tough. I honestly didn't know if I was going to be able to get them all signed or not. So very, very pleased to wrap this one up. So till next time, adios, be safe, bye-bye, toodles. Thanks for watching, y'all.